3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
Ready to embrace the magical side of life, where anything is possible and the infinite is accessible to all? Let's have a conscious conversation about what's going on in the world, in your life, and your relationship from the expanded perspective of your soul. The path to awareness begins and ends in the heart. So let's take it there, one step at a time, and learn to cultivate magic in your life every single day. In each episode, we share a collective space in which we discover the unique facets of our own magic and embody our superhuman qualities by humbly exploring how it's super simply to be human. Hosts Kai and Del co-create a magical experience to remind you that you are magical as fuck. Now, be unleashed. This is our daily magic.
There we go. And we're live. Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are. What did Truman say? He says, good morning, good evening, good night.
Yes.
If I don't catch you, whatever it is. But yeah, see the title, and I want to get right into this. And it's on how judgment can divide us. So, wanted to just bring people up to date from just a conversation I was having in the Facebook world with someone, in which this person experienced some judgment for their belief. And this person who experienced the judgment was in a universal spiritual type of practice. And they came across somebody who was strictly religious. And the religious belief, obviously in religion, anybody who practices anything outside of religion could be considered bad, evil, satanic, those type of stuff. So there's a little bit of a back and forth going on in which the person felt judged for their beliefs. And whoever's listening to this, feel free to share as well, just that experience with judgment. But it was very interesting because it was just asking for, like, how can I handle this? I am very upset at the fact of this person coming at me. And it hurts. It hurts that this person is saying this to me, and here is my intentions with it, but this person is saying what they're saying. So I decided to respond to that. And I decided to respond to that because of just my own experience on being on both sides of the equation. One side of being just strictly on the religious side and have my beliefs engulfed in just a religious belief. And now on the opposite side of just a universal belief of just finding unconditional love in everything. And I responded to this person and I said to them, your truth is your truth. Their truth is their truth. If your truth resonates with you and it works with you, then that's what matters. No matter what, we all have our own truth. And what happens is people like to have debates over truths. And it's a perfect example now because now it's starting to come to me. Now, to go even deeper into this, just imagine this. And this is how I'm imagining it as well. We're at a playground, and we all been in playgrounds before as a kid. And like those recess playgrounds that we have when we're all together, and whatever is like the hot show or toys of the day is, whatever it may be, you feel that this toy is more better than the other toys because for your experience, this is the most amazing toy. You feel excited with it and you're really enjoying it. But then somebody else may think that another toy is better because of their experience with it. And then what happens? The two kids will have a debate. Even a debate, what happens now with Pokemon cards and Pokemon, like this Pokemon is better than this Pokemon because it does this and does this. It's more superior than that Pokemon because it can destroy that Pokemon and stuff like that. I believe this Pokemon is better, and you can't change my belief that this Pokemon is better because this is how I believe it.
What was it for us back in the day?
Pogs.
Pogs.
Power Rangers. We used to have debates about which Power Ranger was better.
True.
Green
So
Ranger.
true.
But who was the best Ninja Turtle?
Donatello.
Raphael. This is different stuff. So it reminded me of this type of thing that's going on now. I'm like, feels like we're in a playground now in which the same thing's going on. But then what starts to happen in the world now, and it didn't really happen when we were kids, because we'll have our little debacle and then that's it. We'll go about our day and play. But what's starting to happen, you're starting to see a lot of this, is people are shaming people for their beliefs. They're judging them. They're trying to force people to change their beliefs or to something else. They call them their stuff this or that. But the judgment behind it is calling them a label just because of their beliefs. I feel like that is what's happening right now. And definitely want to hear from you.
I think of it as like the colors of the rainbow, right? Someone can say, oh, well, my favorite color is purple. And another person's like, my favorite color is blue. And it's like, at the same time, those two statements have nothing to do with each other. Like, your favorite can be your favorite, and my favorite can be my favorite. And at the same time, those two colors are both part of the rainbow. So there's distinction and there's unity, kind of like humanity.
Is it funny how humanity has unity in it?
It does, doesn't it?
Just got to get the man out of it.
Humidity.
But yeah, it's this, what's going on in the world. And like I said, wanted to talk about it because we're all experiencing it now. It's not even just an example I shared with the religious thing that's happening, which is always going to be out there. People are just in their beliefs. And that's what it reminds me of too. And like I was saying before, with the beliefs and also behind why you're doing what you're doing, and feeling the judgments from others for why you do the things that you do. And even the people out there who come at people like this, like in the spiritual community, with their religion in that type of way, you got to think about the essence behind what they're doing. And for me, it's like, yo, like your beliefs and religion is like, yo, like you do it this way or you're going to be punished for forever in a lake of fire. So if that's the case, then I want to help as many people as possible to avoid that. And by what? What?
And by?
Why are you raising your hand for?
Because I don't want to interrupt. I want you to finish your thought first.
Oh, well, that finished my thought. So.
And by
that belief of people are potentially, if they don't follow this path, are going to get burned for eternity over and over again. If I truly believe that, I want to do as much as possible to help save as many people as possible and try to help people as quickly as possible to make that shift, to really shift over to this belief that I have that this is the only right way and the path to live your life, to really get into that promised land of heaven and connection and to be with God and the angels and things like that. And there's a battle that's going on, and I need to do my part of standing ground and having the warfare and going to war with the goodness and calling people out for their things, the crusades. And I think there was a Christian crusade as well, in which people got murdered and plummeted over it. It's like back in the days. And it was, what's that show? Dante's Inferno was based off of that. But so I see where they're coming from with that, of just having that one. But if you haven't noticed, and we're noticing it now, maybe you haven't noticed because you just overstepped it. But this here is co-creation at play, meaning that this is all of us together. And the thing that I love so much, and this is just from my own experience with this higher power of my understanding, is unconditional love. And I asked a question on my Facebook just to get some conversation going. I'm like, something's unconditional love. There shouldn't be any conditions to receive the love. It's like unconditional love is unconditional love. But there's things that have conditions to receive it that we get taught on the religious side, and I'm not shaming it. There's so many amazing people in that field that I connect with. But, and this is not just religion, it's on the spiritual side as well, which you can take a step back. There are people who use that as a way of shaming others or feeling like you're superior than others as well. And I know it's coming to a place trying to save people, but you always have to ask the question. There's a question that I started asking recently, and I'm still working on that, is the way that I present whatever I'm saying, how's the other person going to feel? How's the other person going to receive by me saying the way that I'm going to say something? You can go.
I was going to say that you brought up a really great point. Is that thinking about someone who is coming at you, kind of turning around and thinking about where they're coming from, can bring a whole lot of light to the situation and awareness to the situation, including how it is that you want to respond to whatever's transpiring in that moment, right?
Yeah. And it's the perfect saying out there, do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. So it's like, if I have my beliefs and it's working for me, then why do I need to convince somebody else to change their beliefs?
Unless it's your belief that you have to.
But for the people out there as well, because like I said, the judgment separates us, because the only way we can judge something if we see something separate from us or different from us or less than us or wrong and we're right, and then we can judge, or something's not right, someone's not right. And now I'm just the topic we're talking about, the religion, but we even see it with the whole pandemic thing going on. The vaxxers versus the anti-vaxxers, the mask versus the not so maskers. People don't wear a mask, they get judged for it. People wear a mask, they get judged for it. Someone took the vaccine, they get judged for it. Somebody doesn't take the vaccine, they get judged for it. Like all these different things out there that we get judged for, and see it all the time on social media as well. For our own experience and our own free will of choice, you will get judged for it. So, can we come to an acceptance that no matter what we do, no matter what we say, no matter how we are, no matter all the stuff that we do to try to avoid it, there's always someone out there who's going to judge you. How do you feel?
I wonder. Thank you for what you just said. So it makes me wonder, is there always someone out there who's going to accept me? In my case, yeah, because I accept myself.
Yeah. So we're not getting there yet. We're not getting there yet. So I know where you're going. But I wanted to get to that point first with the judgment side of just accepting the fact of it's going to happen no matter what. Because people are going to perceive whatever you're doing for whatever perception that they're at.
I have something.
Go ahead.
A newborn baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
A newborn baby, when it is born, the baby and the mom, from the baby's perspective, are the same person. The baby does not have an understanding that there is a separation between the two until they start to learn words. They learn baby, they learn mom, and all the other things in the world, right? And in order to do that, language is necessary. Got to name it or label it. And in this case, in order to distinguish one thing from another, people put labels on it. It's just a tool that we've been afforded with the gift of language. And the thing that tends to happen is that after language is established to create the distinction, then there are things that are tied to that label that we call denotations or connotations. Like, what are the feelings that get brought up for you when you hear that word? It may have nothing to do with, what a person is talking about necessarily, but it just brings up something different for you because maybe you've heard or not heard that word before. So it's just like the nature of labels and naming things that judgment has a tendency to follow.
Of course. There's something right or wrong is a judgment. And the labels that get pushed for all these different things. If they do this, this is what it means, especially the ones that are concrete labels. This is what this means. They do this, this is what this means. Never like have an opportunity to have a conversation. So that's what I was saying. The judgments are always out there. There's always somebody out there who will judge. And if we can accept that, now we have a choice. What is the most important thing out of all those things? The judgments. If everybody else judges, if everybody's going to do what they're going to do, what is the thing that we can control? What is the thing that we can't control? So let's go the opposite, reverse. What can't we control? We can't control how somebody is going to take on whatever we do with their perception, their response to it. Like the judgments. We can't control someone else from judging us. It's going to happen. We can't control what people are going to say to us for our own beliefs. That's on them. We can try. And it's a lot of energy because like as soon as you forcefully try to force somebody else to shift their stuff and not judge you, oh, here comes another judgment behind you. Here comes another one. Here comes another one. It just keeps coming. It keeps coming because if the solution was to try to stop these people who are judging me from judging me, then it will work. But let's be honest. Has it worked? No. It hasn't worked. So, what can we control if that is what's happening? I feel the thing we can control is probably like one of the few things that we can control in this thing called life. Because As you can see, the pandemic going on, this whole thing with the vaccine. I don't even know what else is happening out there in the world. All the other stuff that's happening in the world, but even just your unique life that you're living as well. You can't predict what's going to happen in your day from when you wake up until you go to sleep. You may think you are, but there's so many curveballs that happen in your life that you can't even predict. And the pandemic collectively is one of those examples. Who out there, besides that one psychic who predicted something, shout out to her, I forgot her name, but who out there is saying, like, okay, so at this time in September 16, 2021, we're going to be having discussions about vaccines for a virus out there. We're going to be wearing masks to go into stores, and all these other things are happening now. Nobody predicted that. But this formula that I'm cultivating in my life, and Kai, feel free to elaborate on how you're cultivating as well. The thing that I can control is the thing that's in all those situations for myself, and that's me. My emotions, how I respond to things, is my choice. I could go down the judgment hole. I could go down the complaint zone. I can go respond to things and be like, woe is me type of thing. And I'm not even judging that. I'm just giving you that there's always another way to respond to everything in our life. Shout out to my therapist. He taught me that. There's always a different way to respond. And our emotions are in motion to our response of what is happening to us. So if that is the case, and Kai, do you feel that that could be a case? Or what do you feel before I even get into it even more?
Yeah, there's an infinite number of ways to respond to anything.
I was talking about control. What do you feel is the thing that's in control for you?
Mm-hmm.
And out of control for you?
My perception.
And isn't there, like, for you, for perception wise, there's always another perception you can look at things?
Yeah, even if it's not my perception, maybe just how I feel about it.
Emotions?
Emotions.
Yeah. So if that's the case, that's like the only thing really that we can control, because in life events, things just happen. I mean, obviously there's some things that we are in control of, like, okay, I want to go get a steak and I go get it, but I can't control who's going to be there and all these other stuff that are out of my control, but I have my intention of this. So if our emotions and the way to respond to how life presents us is the foundation and the thing that's in our control, why not cultivate that? So that way, when a judgment does happen, because it's inevitable, somebody will come out and judge you for what you do or what you say or how you are.
Mm-hmm.
So why not take a look with those emotions inside of us? But also, when you care so much about judgment, and this is just from my experience, when I cared so much about how others were judging me, the catch-22 was I was judging myself. It was just an illusion that all these other people judge me is the most important thing for me to focus on. And it's like me chasing the rabbit tail. Just keep chasing and chasing it, because like this person judged me, this person judged me, this person judged me. But then when I started to take a look at the judgments I had inside myself and started to really make peace and started to shift those inner judgment I had towards myself. And as Kai mentioned earlier, the acceptance and the love for myself, I started to cultivate that more. The stuff outside of me is the stuff outside of me. People will judge, and that's on them. It's no longer on me, because I'm cultivating this acceptance within me, which I'm still cultivating. And even in this process, there are moments of judgment. It happens. But I'm able to bring awareness to that, and I forgive myself for the judgment when it does happen. Because trust me, one of the worst things to do is judge yourself for a judgment.
Right.
So the judgment, it can divide us if we let it divide us. If we're focused on outside of us, these judgments outside of us, start to focus on the judgments within. Take a look at those judgments within yourself. Make peace and forgive yourself for those judgments first. Cultivate that acceptance. And then what starts to happen is like, oh, I was judging myself for this. Oh, now I see how this person is judging me for. Oh, wow. I wonder what they're going through to make them judge, like how they're judging. Maybe it's not even just a judgment. Maybe they're just doing what they're doing. And I just felt that they were judging me because I was judging myself. And they're just reflecting to me an energy to bring this judgment that was within me out. So now I can see like, oh, they weren't judging me. They were just sharing their perspective with me. We're just at this playground. They were just telling me that their toy was better than my toy. It's okay. Play with your toy.
Nice.
Your turn.
My turn for what?
With your finger.
Oh. Stay magical.